Hi everyone, it's Stephanie, and I'm gonna be trying to do a sort of a tutorial today. I usually don't do makeup tutorials because they sort of scare me, but I remember whenever I first started browsing YouTube for makeup tutorials, I was looking for ways to contour because I was just starting to get into makeup and I thought that I needed to learn how to contour because my face to me is just sort of, it doesn't have a whole lot of dimension going on. Like I don't have any very obvious, cheekbones, and my nose is slightly prominent. So I do like to contour those areas to make, my face look a little bit more, have a little bit more dimension. And I'm gonna show you how I do that today. Right now I have on everything except for the contouring. I have put on primer and foundation already. The first thing I'm gonna use is this Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. It is better to do the contouring on a freshly powdered surface because it glides on better and it doesn't drag. And it's better to have a matte surface. So I'm going to use this powder all over, make my skin look nice and matte, no shine, and make the area nice. And I'm using a very light little fluffy brush. I can't remember what this one's called. This is, it's by Bare Essentials. It's called the Hydrate and Brighten brush. So now I have a good surface to do my contouring on, and I will be looking into the camera, the view window thing, so I won't be looking directly into the camera, but it's the best way that I can figure out how to do this, unless if I look like straight into my mirror, which I'd rather just look up into the camera. So my favorite item for contouring and highlighting my face by far is called My Sculpted Face by IT Cosmetics. I did a lot of research and I did a lot of looking for products to use to contour, and I found a really good one, and there's another one really good one by Sephora called the Sculpting Disc. But this one to me is better because it has more colors. It's a palette and it looks like this. It's got this right here is like a white shade, a matte white actually. The one beside it is a really shimmery white shade. And then you have your contour shades down here in varying colors. This is the brush that I use to contour. It's by Lancome. It's number 25, Lancome 25. And I've used it so much, the letters are almost gone, but it's a cheek and contour duo brush. This end is like a denser brush that I use to contour with, and then this one right here is more of like a highlight and a blush side. So it's double-sided. I really like this brush a lot. I have tried many different brushes, and this one right here is the best one for me. So here we go. I always do my nose first for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. And for my nose, I do the second from the lightest shade. I do that one. So I just put makeup on the brush like this. And I'm gonna get a little bit closer for y'all. And then I just go on the side of my nose like this. And I do apply it pretty liberally, meaning I put as much of the pigment, the powder on the brush as possible. And depending on how much, sun I've gotten or whatever, I may have to use, I may have to go up to the darker shade, which is fine. Okay, so basically, I am sort of shading in the sides of my nose to make them appear a little bit smaller and a little bit thinner. And I'm leaving the top part. And I'll get back to that in a minute. So there's my nose. Cheeks, I use the next darkest shade, which is down here. Hollows of my cheeks, I'm using the same small end. And to find, okay, I looked at so many different things to try to find the hollows of my cheeks. If you don't have any like natural hollows, it's really hard to find. I saw something that said if you pout, you'll find it. You can barely see it, but you can see it a little bit more on that side. My natural hollows are really small, they're like way back here. but I want to bring them up. So basically I just sort of envision where I want them. And for me, that's like right up here. It starts at the very top of my ear and it comes down like this. And I come down, so the top of my ear up here, I come down into about right up here on my eye. I want to just to be able to see it from the front, just a little bit, like right now, you can just barely see it. That's what I want to do. And I sort of create a triangle. So I go down, this is sort of my point, but I don't make it super pointy. I do it more like a round spot and then I go back. And it goes back sort of to my earlobe. So I sort of use my ear as a guide, if that makes any sense. It was the best way that I could do this. I had a lot of difficulty contouring whenever I was first starting out learning makeup. And this is the best way for me. So it looks a little blunt, sort of, but I will go back and blend it whenever I add my blush and highlighter. So I'm gonna do the other side now. Same shade, which is this shade right here. And same concept. Now for me, my cheeks are different. They just feel different. So with this one, I usually start from the front and go back because it just works differently. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but my cheeks are not identical. They're not super symmetrical is what I'm trying to say. There you go. So there's both sides. You can see whenever I look from the front, they look pretty symmetrical and pretty good. And that's what I'm going for here. I'm adding a little bit of dimension to my dimensionless face. The next thing that I'm going to contour is my jawline. And I'm gonna use the shade that I used for my nose contouring, which is this shade up here. And I'm basically drawing a line. I'm following the natural line of my jaw and just drawing a line. Just to highlight, you know, my jaw. I'm sorry, I'm not highlighting it. I'm making a shadow so that it appears that I have a jawline, like a more defined jawline. And then another place where I do contouring is right up here. So I'm taking the same shade that I used for my nose. I use that one the most. And I'm just doing a little bit right here on my temple and sort of connecting it to my line that I did, or my cheek hollowing. And this is more subtle. It's just to sort of bring attention to the forehead. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna do the highlighting portion of it, which is very important as well. I use the matte white shade and the small end of the brush to do my chin, and I just put a little bit on my chin like this. Make my chin appear to be a little bit more prominent. I do one a little bit above my Cupid's bow. Highlight the lip a little bit, and then I do it down the bridge of my nose. Usually start from right up here and then just go down. Like that. And I use my bigger end for this part, and then I do right up here above. You can do some under your eyes. I'll go ahead and do that to show you, just to add a little bit of brightness to your eyes, and right here on the sides of your nose. There we go. Now I'm going to apply blush just to show you where I apply it in relation to the contour shade. I'm using a Tarte 24-hour Amazonian, or 12-hour Amazonian clay in the shade called Peaceful. And I'm using the blush portion of the brush, and I'm just gonna load up my brush, and I'm gonna go right, basically I'm gonna start right here and go just basically above the line that I just did. And I feel like I'm applying a little bit more heavier than I normally do, so you can see it on camera. Okay, so now that I have that done, I'm going to blend the two together in the middle and blend the bottom. Just trying to blend so it looks a little bit more natural, not as, you know, harsh lines. There we go. And I don't really have to blend the others. The nature of this brush that I like a lot kind of blends as you're applying it, so it doesn't look super blunt on my nose for some reason. So there you go, there's some contouring. Another option is to, and I do this sometimes if I want a really shimmery highlighter look, because this shade in this palette right here is very shimmery, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. So I'm gonna put a little bit on my brush and just do it on my cheeks. Right up here on the top. And look, you can see how shimmery it is. It's very pretty if you want a really shimmery look. And I don't do this every day, the shimmery. I only do the really shimmery shade like when I'm going out, or I want really heavy makeup for photos or something. And it has to blend. This one doesn't blend as well, so you really have to blend it in. And that's how I contour. I do that every single day. I don't use the really shimmery shade every single day, but I do the basic contouring every day for work, and I love it. I feel like it has totally transformed the way that I wear makeup. And I'm really glad that I figured out how to do it. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer. I'm still fairly new at this, but I feel like contouring has really changed my face. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it helps you out some whenever you're doing your contouring at home. And thank you very much for watching. Bye.